can remember years ago, whenever I first joined the Highway Patrol, I had been on 2 weeks. I was driving in a very secluded part of Lancaster County. I mean, I remember looking around and it was like midnight, and there were no street lights. There were just no lights at all. I was basically kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I stopped a vehicle. I turned the blue light on, pulled a vehicle over. And as I was getting ready to step out of my car, it dawned on me that I was out there all by myself. That, there was, even if I called for backup, it would probably be 15 minutes before anyone could get to me. And confrontations were usually over in about somewhere between a minute and a half. The confrontation is over and done with. I realized that I was alone. I looked at that car that I was getting ready to approach, and I also realized that I didn't know who was in that car. I didn't know how many was in that car. And I realized that, this could turn bad quick. And a sense of fear came upon me. But I realized that I was where God wanted me to be, and that I needed to do the job that I'd been hired to do. And so I kept on walking, and I approached the car, and everything went fine. There wasn't an issue at all, and I took care of the business that needed to be taken care of. And then I went back to my car. When I got back to my car, it dawned on me that if I had that sense of fear every time I stopped a vehicle late at night in the middle of nowhere, that my job would basically be impossible to do. And so I prayed a prayer. And I said, God, I know this is where you want me to be. And I don't know how to do this job if I have this sense of fear. So my prayer is that you would take this sense of fear away. And it's kind of hard to explain what happened. But when I prayed that prayer, I had a sense of, and I call it peace. Maybe you would think of it as a sense of relief. But I can honestly say that in all the years that came after that, I never experienced the sense of fear again. Now, there were times when I knew I was in a dangerous situation, and there were some times when my knees might have shook because I'm thinking this is not going to go well. But the fear was not there. And I realized that God had given me peace in that situation. So as we're looking at the Advent season, the second Sunday of Advent recognizes peace, the peace that God brings. Well, my name is Richard Coleman. I'm the pastor at Shepherd Church of the Nazarene in Lexington, South Carolina, and it's great to spend just a few moments with you today. In the Christmas story, I think about Mary, young teenage girl, going about her business, making plans about getting married, all excited about what the future holds. And then suddenly an angel appears. The angel would not have said, "Mary, do not be afraid," unless he saw fear in her eyes. I'm thinking she was startled, she was afraid, she didn't know if she should run or what. The angel said, "Do not be afraid." I think around Christmas time sometimes, I've even had people tell me that Christmas is a very difficult time for them. Someone that they loved has passed. Maybe it was they've had situations currently with relationships that just create all kinds of problems around Christmas time. And many people, I think, fear going into the Christmas season because of all the contact that they have to make or the memories that they have. And I think it's important for us to Think about that angel talking with Mary. She thought she had her life all planned, and all of a sudden an angel appears. What's going on? Apparently there's some big news here. And the angel said, don't be afraid. And then I think about Mary's response. Mary's response, a very typical response. When the angel said, you're going to have a baby, and this baby is going to be the Son of God. And she said, how can this be? I've never been with a man. How can this be that I would have a baby? And the angel did everything that he could to explain the process to her. He said, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and because of that, all of this can come about. I've been in situations where people have given me news, and it's like, wow, I don't know how to respond to that, or a turmoil sometimes would kind of filter on my insides, and I'm thinking, I don't know. It's Mary had to feel that, but when she listened to the angel, and the angel told her, said, no word from God will ever fail. That's what he told her. That was his response. He said, you can count on this. No word from God will ever fail. And then I believe that the peace that only comes from God settled in on Mary. I think the turmoil, I think the questioning, everything that, she didn't have all the answers. She had a concept of what was going on, but she didn't have all the answers. But I believe the peace of God came upon her in such a way that she no longer had that turmoil in her life. She could feel God's peace. The Bible sometimes says it this way: it's a peace that passes understanding. You really can't explain it. It's just something that God can do for his people. And when Mary experienced that peace, she said, I am the Lord's servant. May your word be fulfilled in me. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I just don't think a teenage girl could have said that on her own. I believe it required the peace of God that came into her being that allowed her to say, I will accept whatever it is that God brings my way. So I'm thinking, here we are, right in the middle of Christmas season, and you might not be experiencing peace. Maybe everything is just upside down. Maybe there's turmoil. Maybe there's things you need that you can't find, things you want that you can't find, relationships that just seem to be going haywire, and you're thinking, well, this is like the worst Christmas ever. I'm hoping you're not experiencing that, but I'm just in case things are not just where you would like them to be, put it in God's hands. God, I give you my finances. God, I give you my relationships. God, I give you my job, and everything, I give that to you. And I want to be in the center of your will. Kind of like Jesus said, when Jesus prayed that prayer when he was getting ready to have a lot of distress. He prayed the prayer and he said, Father, not my will, but yours be done. And whenever we can turn it over to God, God can give us a peace that passes understanding. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May you truly experience the peace of God throughout this week. Thanks for taking the time and viewing today.